YouTube? Topaz Jace back for another album review, and this one is to that SZA Control, and I'm giving this one the yellow light because it's just not that strong of a product right here, as this is the first project that I have heard from SZA, man, so I didn't come into it with any expectations or anything, but yet it falls short, just like the vast majority of projects that TDE has released to this point in time and such. Now, my core issue with it is pretty much just on the surface layer here. Just musically, it's not that appealing. Now, once you start to break it down, like lyrically, and understand what she's talking about, then you get a whole bunch of substance to it. But yet, if you're just a common listener that don't really care for anything too deep on the lyricism landscape, then all of this will become just background music. But yet, once you start breaking down what she's talking about, then you will find your enjoyment. Where musically, SZA really comes off to me as the modern day and age Erykah Badu, but yet the quality of music just isn't all the way there. But yet what she's talking about isn't that too far off from what other acts like The Weeknd and such be talking about, just more of a female-orientated version of it. And honestly, I feel as though it would work if, one, she had better production on her, and two, if she had better direction as well. But let's go ahead and break down these individual tracks on here, which I'm obviously not going to be able to touch on all of them, so I'm going to just touch on some of the ones that really stand out to me. Starting with that Love Galore featuring Travis Scott here. Now, what I liked about it is just the real talk of what she's talking about here, and she's talking about flings that she's having with dudes and all of that stuff, but yet they ultimately end up catching feelings. And this is just some real talk right here, dude, because not very many people out there are able to go ahead and be sexually involved with somebody and not catch any kind of feelings. Like, a lot of dudes out there want to put that all on women or whatever, dude, but yet I've seen it all too many times. Too many guys out here who thinking they could just have a sexual relationship with an individual woman and just not think anything about it, but yet when that individual woman goes out and be seen with other dudes, like noticeably having a sexual relationship with other people, then it ultimately changes them. That was pretty deep, as Travis Scott kind of did go away from his melancholy sound that he usually strive with everybody going out to get him. So I kind of like the diversity of the sound, but yet it still wasn't that great of a song, as none of these songs were really that great. Now, the next song I wanted to talk about was that Doves in the Wind featuring Kendrick Lamar, because this is just some real talk that a lot of guys out here really got to understand. See, the basic premise of this song, what she's ultimately talking about, is how much guys don't get respect when all you want is the sex. How dudes only talk to women to beg for sex and all of that, coming off super thirsty. And this is something that messes up your game consistently, dude. Like, oftentimes the dudes who do that, man, you never really get sex. But it's always the guy who treats these women like crap, right? Who's always got a whole bunch of women that they always having sex with that they really don't value, and you really don't understand why that is so. And the reason being is because they're actually keeping it real with the women. Women love a dude that's keeping it real with them. They'll rather deal with a dude that's treating them like crap because they keeping it real than a dude who's just really kissing up to them so they can have sex with them and then flip it up right after they had sex and such, dude. Now, she put it in the worst possible context, and she tried to put in Forrest Gump on there and such, dude, where Forrest Gump got played throughout that entire movie, but yet because Jenny want to come around and have sex with him, because she keep getting caught up in the game and all that stuff, dude, like he was nothing more than her simp that she just came back to go at and such, dude. That was honestly the worst kind of comparison she could make for this topic here, but yet the topic is still respectable, because when Kendrick jumps on the bus, he pretty much starts talking about how simp dudes will do anything to go out here and have sex, but yet when he has sex with a chick, it'll change up. This chick that they was chasing after all this time will never look at them the same again because of him. The next song I want to talk about is that Anything joint, man. Well, this one has somewhat of the same theme as the last one, but yet it's a bit different. Well, what she's ultimately talking about is how she's down to do anything for this one particular guy that she wants to talk to and all that, but this guy doesn't see that she exists. Pretty much he's not paying attention to her at all, and that's what's driving her crazy to actually want to be with the guy. And that's pretty much what I'm saying, is the guys that really don't be paying attention, that really don't care for these women, that these women ultimately go crazy over. But this does bring up an interesting thing on how these women out here die to be chose by certain individuals, but yet they won't go up and speak to them. And I mean, this isn't everywhere. Like in certain areas where men are not like the majority out there, like women got to be out there on the hunt, and they'll actually go up and hard choose a dude and go up and start spitting at him instead of wait. But yet for the most part, women will try to get your eye. Women will try to be around you. They'll walk past you 3-4 times in order to get you to say something, and they'll suffer in silence if you don't, and which that just kills me, because a lot of times we just have other things on our mind. We're not looking, we're not really noticing anything. So if you want our attention, the best thing you could do is go ahead and holler at a dude. But I understand that's not how the game is played, and that will never happen, but still, it is what it is. The next song I want to talk about is that Pretty Little Buzz with Isaiah Rashad on there, man. Which the thing that gathered my interest for this one is the metaphor that she's using here, which is kind of dope, where she's doing a comparison to women that's out there seeking love as a bird that has to go out there and fly, even though this bird will have to fly into a whole bunch of walls and windows and all of that stuff. Even as this bird is risking falling to its death and all that, it still will try to fly regardless. And she's comparing that to how women are chasing after love and such, how they're willing to go out there and put everything on the line to get it. Even if they are flying to a window or something, they still gonna pick up and try to go out and do it again. The next song I want to talk about is Normal, where what she's ultimately talking about on this is how she wishes she could be the normal woman that you could bring home to the parents, that everybody's gonna be proud of you for having her and all of that stuff, being just the typical, prototypical girlfriend that everybody wants to have, but yet she realizes she will never be that. But in the end, ultimately realizing that nobody is like that, nobody is that perfect person that you can bring home or whatever, that nobody's gonna have issues with. And that's just some real talk. You really just got to accept yourself for who you are and understand that some people just not gonna like you, some people will like you, and all of that. You just need to go out there and get what's yours. And the last song I want to talk about is that Broken Clocks, because this is something that's rather important, because this is her trying to get over a relationship and all of that stuff, dude. And the way she's doing it is taking it day by day, doing the mundane lifestyle that she has to live in order to get over this individual that she still has some kind of feelings and such for. And that's really how you're supposed to do it. Besides going out there finding a rebound that's going to try to help fill that void that you had lost and such, man, you ultimately want to go ahead and put one foot ahead of the next in order to get over this individual, because the more you sit up and think about them, you're going to get drawn back into them, and there's a reason why y'all broke up to begin with. And this is how people fall into stalking and all of that stuff too. The best way to get over a broken heart, man, is to get on the grind. Go out there, get your paper, focus on what makes you unique, go out there and do whatever you want to do, and then when the next relationship comes your way, then you go ahead and play it the way you want to play it, but yet you got to get over this one. But you can't let a failed relationship consume you to the degree that you ultimately become detrimental to yourself. But overall, I mean, I like a lot of these concepts that she got, a lot of these things that she's saying here. It's just none of these songs are anything that I would consistently listen to like that, man. Simply put, the lyricism is cool, but yet it becomes background music after a while, to the point that you really don't care about what she's saying anymore. The number one purpose for a musician is to entertain, and this project just isn't that entertaining. And that's why I'm giving this joint a 4 out of 10. But a quick recap here, man. The positives that I'm taking for this is the lyricism, the content that's within here, man. She's definitely going deep here. But yet the negatives is, it's not that strong of a project. But this concludes today's review, and now we're going to jump into a brief instrumental from underground producer D Begun before we take some of your questions. So Zayn calls himself correcting me, saying that No ID is the one that produced that entire Vic Mensa project and all that stuff, dude, which I didn't touch on any production throughout that entire review. Like, he's assuming that I thought that Pusha T produced the whole project when I said that he may have executively produced this entire project. Two different things. Being a producer is not the same thing as an executive producer. Executive producer is the one that's telling you where you need to go with your music in order to complete this project. The producer is the one that's making the music in order to create certain songs and such. And Lee says that my favorite rapper has to be whoever, because I didn't like that J Electronica track and all that stuff, dude. And I'm really sick and tired of these people who just pole jocking all the way 101, who want to bring up other people's name and say you have to like that person if you don't like this man. And all you're trying to do is big up this individual and pretty much pole jock this individual by throwing shade on other people's names and such. Like, you don't even know who my favorite rapper is. My favorite rapper for a long time was AZ. Now, times have changed for me, man, because of what I do. I listen to so much music that I don't really have any super favorite commercial acts. I really just stick to the underground people as well. But in the end, you're just exposing yourself as a fraud by coming out saying anything ridiculous like this. Stop pole jocking. I hope you enjoyed the show. You can follow me at Twitter up there. And you can go to downloadpads.com, that's down there, to read today's article.